We're back to another one of punk perspectives, what I'm calling it. Two punks here, it's our perspective on songs, we're telling you the meaning of the songs to us. We just listened to the band Osker, Osker, a song called All Right, and we're kind of going down Punk-O-Rama Volume 3 because that was your first introduction to a kind of punk, right?
Yeah.
And this is one of the songs, I'll say a little bit about it. I'll read the lyrics, try to read it first. That I didn't really let my other friends know about too much because it was so personal and it made me feel very vulnerable, this song. But I very much connected because when I was like in early middle school, I got bullied a bit. And then I went to another school in 8th grade, got different friends, but I always made sure like I don't ever want to get put in that like situation again, which is also, I think, to why I fell into punk a bit, was like outcasting, being yourself. Because part of why I got, bullied was I was trying probably too hard to fit in and just not who I was. And when you hear this song, it sounds kind of like what that's about. It's like, if you're gonna have friends that fucking like put you down and shit, fuck them. So I felt very connected to this song. It meant a lot to me, but it was one I would really only listen in private too much. I wouldn't let my other friends hear it because it was, kind of a weak song. It's a very vulnerable song, that's how it was. Probably not, it's the opposite of a weak song. It was fucking super fucking just open and being himself, which is great about the band Osker too. But I'll read the lyrics a little bit and I'll ask you something about it. But the lyrics are very short and kind of simple, and you don't have to like think too much about it. But it's called All Right by a band called Osker. And I'm uncomfortable with myself, and your put downs just do not help. The outcome is I feel like shit. Don't you know when to quit? And I am not doing all right. And I am not doing all right. I always end up feeling bad. So why don't you just get off my back? If I knew this is what friends were for, I'd never have made me. And I'm not doing all right, and I'm not doing all right. None of this makes sense. They don't support me because they're too busy judging. It's all so unimportant, and it makes me feel sorry for them. And I'm not doing all right. I'm not doing all right. I mean, pretty cut and dry, and that's why this song hit me deep too. And there was so many things about it also. Those kids that were fucking making fun of me or whatever, because I wasn't fitting in and whatever it was, it's like, first of all, like it says, they're super unimportant. Are we just gonna have fun, hang out? Which is what I, like the whole energy of punk music is. It's just, be yourself, enjoy things. And if you're gonna start picking on me for whether it was you're not smoking weed, fuck you, you do all that shit. It's like it says more about you, bitch, than it is about me, like. You're obviously trying to make up for your own insecurities, which is probably what it really is. I don't know. And there's a difference between just like making fun and, giving each other shit to where like you can tell it goes further and further, especially when you can tell someone's not having the good time anymore. If you just listen to Agnostic Front, it's all about unity, man. Fucking stick up for people, help people out. Don't push people when they're fucking down. So this song was, it meant a lot to me. It was a very vulnerable song. I wouldn't really play it, but it's one I still hear to this day, and I fucking dig it. And it doesn't sound good though. It's very unpolished, and he's singing all right, all right. It's not gonna be played on the radio. You're not gonna get any chicks playing this song. You're not gonna play this song. Don't play this on a date, But okay, so tell me, you heard this song, what'd you think? And
I actually liked it. I thought it was a banger. I don't know. I did like it, but I like this whole CD. So
yeah.
Yeah, I could relate to it too. In the sense that, it's like you want people on your side and support you, not fucking constantly criticizing you or bringing you down. There's no room for that, especially your friends. You wouldn't want to expect it from your friends, if it's already going on with your parents or whoever. So, but I did see them. I saw them once, and I saw them on a Punk-O-Rama tour. And ironically, they were playing, and some dude was like yelling at them. He's like, "You're not fucking punk," and he's like, "That's why we're up here, and you're not." So that was my only. I took one of my girlfriends to that. She was more into metal, and I was really young at the time. I think I was 19, and I was trying to get her into punk, and she was into like a lot of fucking metal bands. So I took her to some punk shows. Hopefully, it would change her mind. But yeah, I just remember that.
Yeah, dude. It's funny too, like how I think you both say the same things, dude. It was so because first of all, I felt like there was like a battle of people that were like even into good music and bad music, which were that was either like country, hip hop, rap, or rock. And it's like, oh, if you could get the rock niche, the fucking good, we can go further into it. And then, yeah, the women, the chicks, the girls that would get slimmer and slimmer when you go to these categories, right? Like in my school, anyways, so many of them like country. Then it was like more of, mainstream, hip hop and rap was getting big at the time. Then get into rock, you get some. And then when you go further down, like metal got all the fucking cred, like, cause it was coming after that 90s new metal, and it's all right. I'm not gonna, at the time I hated metal. Like punk was so much fucking better, still is, but I have the respect for it. But it always feels like you and I are probably trying to get people into punk. Like, oh, you gotta listen to this, and then I play it for people, and they'd be like,
Yeah.
this is not, this guy can't really sing. I'm like, that's what's good about it. Like, yeah, exactly. He doesn't fucking sing good. Don't you love that shit? He could be you or me. And
I
like,
remember my mom listening to it, and she said the same thing. This guy can't sing, and I was like,
yeah, you don't fuck if you.
he's
you
not
either
supposed
get
to
it-
sing.
You either
He's not
get it
supposed
or
to know
you
how to
don't
sing,
get
like,
it.
this
Yeah.
is underground shit. He's not trying to make a ton of money off it, man.
Mm-hmm. But it's the energy too, and that's why the shows were so much even more sometimes, man. Like usually when I listen to these songs, I'd imagine either like being at the show or performing the show. I pretend sometimes I was the fucking artist, and the energy and the feel and the fucking message of the songs was just what fucking was so much more than some any polished.
I thought you were gonna say all the meth there.
Yeah, all the meth too. The meth was so long, and thanks for all the meth.
Love meth.
Yeah, man. That's funny, dude. Just screaming at it. Like, why? There's hecklers everywhere, but why would you be a
I
heckler?
don't
at a punk
understand
show?
the whole. This is another thing in the scene that I don't understand. Is like, you're not punk, you're a poser. Like, he's just in a band playing fucking music. Why are you criticizing him? Like,
Mhm.
and he's right. Like, you're not up there, so apparently he's better than you are. But I just never could understand. You're a fucking poser. You're a poser. Like, just come together. You're
Yeah,
more punk than the punkiest punk that ever punked.
yeah, it was weird. So I guess it was with like mainstream going out and stuff, and I mean, I kind of felt guilty to it to a point, but I never would like really like. There was definitely this like whole thing of like who's punk, who's not, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And you realize like what you're
It's just music.
like. First of all, you should be happy that people are liking this music anyways, because there's already such a minority of people that were getting into it, and it can be a real turnoff. And it's like everything that the fucking music was about, you start bringing into it. And I can say, if you can argue a band or something, like I totally understand that. Like, yeah, the music's fast or whatever, but they did sell out because they're not their same tune anymore, or they're fucking supporting this, blah blah. I remember when like when there would be like some bands that would go to major labels and they would change. They changed quite a bit. There's AFI is one that comes to
Oh,
mind and
Jesus
stuff.
Christ, dude, I love that.
But old AFI is so much better than when they went mainstream, right? But then there was bands that I think stuck to their guns, like, and you gotta, there's so much more you have to look into it, like with Anti-Flag, which had their own label, AF Records. They went to RCA. And I don't know if you remember this, when they went to RCA, oh, they got fucking hated on. But RCA basically said, look, we'll help you distribute it and you can just do whatever you want. If that's what's going on, then who the fuck, like, you be your own, like, let them do whatever you want, right? But there was this weird, who's a punk, not a punk police. I mean, Anti-Flag things about that, yeah.
We don't.
Yeah.
Be a punk, like, I don't care.
Mm-hmm. And you would just, and then on the individual basis, you'd find out real quick if you vibe with them or not, like, oh, you like all these shitty punk bands,
I remember you earlier saying you were ashamed to let anybody know that you listened to the song.
I did.
And when I thought of that, I thought of like some Blink-182 songs that I could not tell my friends that I liked.
Right,
I couldn't do it, dude. I'm like, they're gonna hate me. Because everyone's like, they suck. And then like, they're like, I kind of like that song too.
It's
like,
a real,
you get to a point in your life where you're like over that. You're not so young and so worried about other people judging. You're like, that wasn't.
And Blink's one were like, yeah, they were actually the first little bit, that energy is what got me even to wanting to know what punk was, them and Green Day. And thank God they were mainstream and they did this shit, but who they were, if you go to their earliest shit, was always like like crass, ignorant, fucking sex jokes, fart jokes, and they maintained that their whole career, even when they got on major labels, and they always just sung about girls, girlfriends, and potty mouth shit. And you either like that or you don't, right? But there was this bad stigma to where, yeah, if you like Blink-182, you're a poser, you're a fucking little, bitch. Like
And probably everybody tried.
Well, the big thing too was when somehow um Blink like broke up or whatever, and Tom DeLonge did Boxcar Racer, and Boxcar Racer was okay. You could listen to Boxcar Racer. I mean, they had H2O opening for them, and Unwritten Law, I mean, whatever. But
I saw them once, so I read
you know,
much about them.
they had that song "Seeing Red." They weren't that good. They didn't belong in the punk scene. I don't think. See, here I am being punk police.
That's all
I didn't
right. No,
like
I
them.
don't think they should.
I saw them a couple times. KF made a couple festivals opening up for.
Where the fuck did I see them? I saw them somewhere. Now I.
It's all right. That's how I really got on this one, but no, this is one though, but on different reasons. It was just, yeah, it was not, especially when I had friends and I'm trying, like he was saying, trying to get people to listen to music. So I had like, friends at the time, shout out to my other friend Kyle, but, where I'm like, they're super into like metalhead and these shitty metalhead bands like Mushroom Head, stuff that I really, cause they're the worst band of all time, Cannibal Corpse. Where it's just like you can't hear anything, it's just like someone just screaming too loud. It seemed like it was fake anger to me. Where like in this, it's so connected and stuff to where like the anger, like Paul is a good example too, where I guess I could really connect to it to where like the screaming and shit felt more real and authentic. Cause that's how I scream when I get fucking pissed off and throwing my tantrum in fucking, high school. I'd scream like that. I wouldn't scream like, Cannibal Corpse or some of those metal bands would. But the idea was there's like this toughness to it. So if I played someone that was like super into like Slayer and Mushroom Head and those bands, Osker. Oh,
Yeah, you are gonna.
I'm
You
losing.
have to.
I'm getting them further away from
You
punk.
gotta get them into like agnostic.
Agnostic,
You gotta
yeah.
get them into heavier, hardcore punk bands because Oscar ain't it.
Oscar's gonna get them.
This shit.
It's gonna get you further. It might get you wound up like that. You're gonna get fucking punked on, bullied, dude. And they're gonna go further away from punk. Like I really don't identify with.
They're gonna hit eject. They're gonna take the CD and throw it out the window.
Throw it out the fucking window, dude. All right, let's move on.